Okay, thank you everyone, thank you for being here. I know you're fired up, I know you're excited, we are too. But we want to make sure that we get ourselves started here and we know what's going on. Before we start, we've got quite a few special guests here I'd like to acknowledge. Dr. Sargent is here, our superintendent of schools. Dr. Summer, our assistant superintendent of human resources this year as well. I'm not sure if he still is, but we appreciate him being here. I see Mr. DeSanto, who's the phys ed supervisor for the district, and I see Mr. Cruz, social studies coordinator for the district. Thank you all for being here. Okay, let's get on to the program. Hey, it's great to have us all together here during the month of October, which annually includes, of course, the Week of Respect and School Violence Awareness Week. Now, while there's emphasis put on that subject, the subject of bullying across the nation at this time of year, I think we all know at Central Middle School, this is an area that we constantly are aware of, and we constantly work on. We believe a respectful culture and climate is essential for a school to be successful. And there are many members of our school community who contribute to making sure that we have just that at CMS. I'd like to recognize and thank Mr. Schmidt and Mr. Yarosh, who attended the Jets Tackle Bullying Information Program during the summer, and are the ones that are responsible for bringing the program here today. So let's hear it for them. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Goldberg. Is Mrs. Goldberg? Would you raise your hand, Mrs. Goldberg? For doing a fantastic job on our bullying week. Our joint teacher, bullying, checks for thank you. And then there's a couple of other things. Special thanks to Mr. Flanagan, Mr. Taka, Mr. Yarosh, as well as our guidance counselors and all of our staff members for their work with our students on a daily basis in this very important area. It's not a day goes by that it's not something that we think about. So thank you very much. Thanks for being here. Okay, so I really believe that this is a school where respect is important between the students and the teachers, between all of us, parents, all the community members. So I really appreciate your respectful participation today. Please make sure you're listening and that you're responding appropriately. And at this time, I'd like to welcome and introduce the New York Jets Director of Community Relations, Mr. Jesse Linder, and he's going to get the program started.
Thank you, Mark. So, on behalf of the entire New York Jets organization, our ownership, all our players, coaches, staff, thank you for having us here today. We are obviously very excited to be here. The main reason that we're here today is to congratulate you and really recognize Central Middle School for having an exceptional school environment that works to eliminate bullying, promote a school culture of upstanders. So the way all of you, from administration to the teachers to the students, the way you all create a positive culture and do not tolerate bullying is the reason why our special guests are here today. So please give yourselves a round of applause. Great job. Congratulations. Now, for the Jets Upstander of the Week program, my weekly contact has been Mr. Yarosh. So I know we mentioned him before and some of his other colleagues. Let's give Mr. Yarosh one more big round of applause for implementing the Upstander program. Now, we have a very fun program here for you today. You're going to hear from some special guests who will introduce you in a moment. You may even get a chance to ask some of these guests some questions, but I really need you to do me a favor before we get started. I need you to listen to everything that we're saying here today, because at the end of today's assembly, we are going to have some trivia questions. And if you're listening and you get those questions right, you may have a chance to win a prize from one of our special guests. So make sure you're listening to everything today. And then, finally, we have a special announcement at the very end that Mr. Gray, I will listening because anything could be a potential question. So, the first thing I need you to do is, can everybody clap once, clap twice, 3 times. All right. Our first guest is from a company called Bethpage Federal Credit Union. Without their support of the Jets Tackle Bowling Program, we wouldn't be here today. So I want to introduce to you the Vice President for Community Development, Mr. Robert Suarez from Bethpage Federal Credit Union. Thanks, Robert. Wow, I love the energy in the room. Good afternoon, everyone. All right, we didn't have lunch yet. Let's do it one more time. Good afternoon, everyone. All right, Jesse, thank you for the introductions. Like Jesse said, we're from Bethpage Federal Credit Union. One of the things we've been around for 75 years, and truly working with initiatives and programs that really enrich the future leaders of our communities. It is really a humbling experience and moment to be here with you guys. You guys are our future leaders. To the Central Middle School leadership, faculty, teammates, you guys are wonderful. Thank you for hosting us this afternoon. And more importantly, I think we really need to kind of look at each other here and really see and commend you guys. It's really about you guys today. We're just very appreciative to be here today to really show what it takes when we all stand together and strive and create a culture of positiveness. You guys are future leaders. I cannot stress that enough. Bethpage Federal Credit Union and the partnership with the New York Jets and Stomp Bullying is a strong initiative that we're proud to be part of. And more importantly, I'm proud of all of you guys here. Enjoy the rest of the day. God bless. And I'm going to turn it over back to Jesse. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. As I said, without Bethpage and Robert's support, we wouldn't be here today. So I know we're excited to have them as a partner for our Jets Tackle Bowling program. Now, speaking of partners, when the New York Jets as an organization decided we wanted to really start this tackle bowling program, there was one problem. We're not experts in anti-bullying. We may be experts in football, and our players are experts in terms of playing football, but when it comes to anti-bullying, we needed to find another special partner to help us bring these programs to schools like you. So we reached out to Stomp Bullying. They're an organization that really stood out above all other organizations. They're the national leading organization for anti-bullying, and without their guidance, we wouldn't be able to really kind of give you the information and the tools that can help you. So we have a special guest from Stomp Out Bullying here today. She is one of their youth leaders, and as part of this, represents Stomp Out Bullying across the country. So without any further delay, I'd like to introduce Jazz Jenkins, youth leader for Stomp Out Bullying.
Thank you so much, guys. I first want to say congratulations to Principal Gray and all of you here at Central Middle School for being part of the solution and by working to end bullying and cyberbullying. So congratulations. So, as Betsy told us, my name is Jazz Jenkins, and I'm a youth ambassador for Stomp Out Bullying. I'm here to speak to you on behalf of this organization that I hold very close to my heart. I've actually been a youth ambassador for Stomp Out Bullying since I was in 7th grade. We have any 7th graders here? So I've been working with Stomp Out Bullying since I was your age, so I hold this organization really close to me. Stomp Out Bullying is the leading national anti-bullying organization for kids and teens in the United States. And we've taken our mission even further because we want to change the culture we live in, and we're asking you to help us do that. We are so proud to partner with the New York Jets, and part of that partnership has been ensuring that 1,000 tri-state area schools receive Stomp Out Bullying education, and we are committed to changing the culture and putting an end to cyberbullying and bullying. So we're very excited that you'll be hearing from the New York Jets later. But for now, let's talk about what bullying is in our society. I'm sure we all know, you're all very smart, that bullying is a constant and repetitive behavior of putting other people down and making them feel less than. Bullies want to take away your power. The best way not to let them do that is for you to be empowered yourself. If someone verbally or emotionally bullies you, don't ignore it. Maybe try and use a comeback. Ask the bully if the behavior makes them feel better about themselves and walk away without any conversation. You've just taken away some of their power. If bullying doesn't stop, there is a time and a place for you to talk to an adult about the situation. Don't be afraid to let someone know that you're being bullied. There are people in your school, this is a great school, I've met some of your staff members and they care about you and your well-being. So never be afraid to reach out to an adult if you need help. There are plenty of people here to help you. And so I want everyone for a minute to imagine your best friend in the whole world sitting next to you. They're scared and they are in emotional pain because they're being bullied. Think about what you would do to help your best friend in that situation. Would you be an upstander and stand up to the bully on their behalf? Or would you let your friend continue to hurt? I hope that everyone would make the right decision and be an upstander for their friend. But not only to be an upstander for the people who they consider their friends, but be an upstander for anyone. If you see a victim of bullying, it's your personal responsibility to bring that situation to the attention of an adult. But we all know, especially us young people, know that bullying extends outside of the school. How many people here are on social media, Instagram, Snapchat, all that stuff? Yeah. I know, it's exciting. So, me too. I love Instagram. I love my Snapchat stories. But we all know that social media can be a place where bullying is common. So I know a lot of you have probably heard of Harvard University. It's a very prestigious college. Harvard has cracked down on bullying and revoked admissions from students who are found to be making insensitive posts online. So even though it seems like posting from your phone and using Snapchat doesn't have any real ramifications, the choices you make online affect your future. And that's a really scary thing. It's also a very exciting thing. So everyone needs to be conscious of the decisions they make online. And if you find yourself being bullied online, all you have to do is block the person, find a responsible adult, and speak up for yourself. I know those are kind of scary things, but they're exciting things as well. So lastly, I just want to leave you with 3 key things to think about today as you go about your rest of your day. Remember to think before you post, as we just talked about. It will affect your future in many ways. Remember to be an upstander, not only for yourself and your friends, but for anyone in your school community. And remember to talk to your fellow students about their cultures and experiences. You can learn a lot from the people who are around you. You attend an amazing school, and I know that you will work very hard to make sure that bullying does not exist in this space. I'm proud of you all for doing the right thing. Now I'm going to give the program back to Jesse Linger of the Jets. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. As mentioned before, without Stomp Out Bullying's guidance, we really wouldn't be able to bring this type of programming here to you. So, in a moment, I'm going to introduce these 2 big guys over here to talk to you. What I really need you to do, though, is make sure you're listening to everything they have to say, because 1, it's important. 2, it could be a trivia question later. So, our 2 guests here, they're going to share some valuable information with you. They're going to tell you a little bit about their personal story, which you may not expect to hear today. So, I'd like to first bring up, or actually I'm going to bring up both of them. I'd like to bring up Jonathan Harrison and Kelechi Osinri. Come on, guys.
CMS, what's going on? Let me get some of that energy. Come on, come on.
Alright, so what I'm going to do first, Jonathan, since you have the mics first, I'm going to let you kind of kick things off. If you could just introduce yourself to the students, tell them a little bit about yourself, and then we'll turn it over to Kelechi.
All right, cool. So yeah, my name is Jonathan Harrison. I'm born and raised in Florida. Went to the University of Florida. Go Gators. I know there's a couple of Gator fans all the way up here, but so be it. But yeah, went to the University of Florida. Spent my first 3 years in the NFL with Indianapolis Colts, and the last 3 years I've been with the New York Jets, making 6 years in the NFL. Played offensive line, center. Love what I do, and never thought I'd be here today. So it's truly an honor to be here, and truly an honor to be here to talk to you guys today. So thank you for having us.
Thank you, John. All right, we'll turn it over to Kelechi. Kelechi, if you could just give a little bio, let them know where you're from and everything, just so they're more familiar with you.
All right, my name is Kelechi Assembly. It's my 8th year in the NFL. Played 4 years
The one thing that I think when I came down into the locker room when I was talking to you guys and asking you to come out today, I had shared some statistics so that you guys were aware of bullying. John, were there any statistics that I shared with you that kind of like stuck out that was a little overwhelming as it came to bullying?
Yeah. Every time I hear a statistic, it catches me off guard. But just so everyone knows, 5.4 million students skip school during a typical school year because they're afraid of being bullied. So like, think about the number of kids that are missing school, that are missing out on education, that are missing out on an opportunity to make friends, to make memories, all because they're afraid of being bullied. That's really like, it's shocking. It's shocking and it's really saddening that people aren't comfortable enough to go to school. That should be like a safe zone, that where you can hang out with your friends and enjoy your childhood, because once you grow up, there's no going back to being this age. It's a great age, like middle school, high school, it's a great age, a great time in your life, and you build a lot of memories. So just keep that in mind. And another stat that I learned from Jesse is that 1 out of every 5 kids are bullied. So whether they mention it, whether they speak up, just know that out of every 5 of you, 1 of you are getting bullied. And that comes in many forms. That could be verbal bullying, that could be physical bullying, that could be cyberbullying, which is huge right now. Growing up, Collection and I were growing up, social media wasn't that big of a thing. Like, it was just starting to get developed when we got to high school and everything. But now, the access everyone has to your information on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be, it's really easy to get cyberbullied. So just keep that in mind.
Thank you, John. So, Kaleshi, I kind of want to pose the same question to you. Is there anything that stood out about how prevalent bullying is in your mind?
That every 7 seconds a child is bullied. That was pretty wild. That's a lot. And that 43% of students have bullied online, like you said. I think like AOL or AIM was like the only thing we had back in those days, so there really wasn't like a lot of bullying or anything going on. So I can't imagine how it would be like to get bullied at home and then like go home and you still get bullied. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, the statistics about how prevalent bullying is and where it can hit you on all different forms is crazy. So, John, what I want you to do now is, I think some of these kids are going to be surprised. Can you share your kind of experience growing up with being bullied and really tell them, hey, I'm an NFL player too, and I got bullied growing up and what that was like?
So yeah, Jesse kind of hinted to it, but growing up I was bullied. I wasn't always as intimidating offensive lineman or anything like that. Growing up, I was a musician. I played guitar and French horn. I was always too overweight to play little league sports. So when all my friends are going to their Pop Warner practice or basketball, whatever it was, I was too big to play any of those sports because of the risk of me injuring someone else accidentally. So I went the music route, and going the music route, music's an art. It's really a skill that not everyone possesses. And so like any musicians out there, really take pride in what you do and don't let anyone tell you otherwise about being a musician. But people told me, they're like, oh wow, you're that big and you're playing a guitar, you're doing marching band and all this stuff. Like, you must not be that tough. You're not at school because you're not a jock. And it really affected me. And everything they said, I took to heart. And it really put me into like my shell all growing up. I always thought, I wasn't as cool as the jocks, and I would try to be cool, and I was never allowed in those circles, never allowed to hang out with them. And they even took it to the next step of where they thought it'd be fun to like mess with me during the day. So I'm your age now in school, and every day on my way to lunch, the group of jocks would see me going to lunch, and they would do everything in their power to tackle me. So like as I'm going to lunch, the first couple of days I'm like, all right, cool, it's funny, it's a game, let me just try and avoid them. But they knock me on the ground, so I skin on my elbows, my knees, books go flying, papers go flying, end up having to pick all my stuff up and continue on my lunch. And at that time I was like, that's just like my rite of passage, that's just how I'll be accepted, but it just continued and got worse and worse. And I never was accepted into that group. I never became cool from looking back, I wish that I really stood up to them. I really wish I looked them in the eye and told them, like, hey, look, that's not cool. At least I wish I would have told somebody else. It sounds bad, it sounds like, okay, you're being a snitch, whatever it is. But I wish I would have told somebody that this was going on because of how it affected me throughout my life. So, that's one example among many others. I've had examples of even younger, 5th grade recess, picking teams to go play soccer, and I'd be the last one picked. And then when I was picked, everyone would just peg me with the ball and think it was funny. And it was the same thing. I'm like, oh no, this will be fine, it'll be all right. Eventually I'll be friends with them. But then never became friends with them. And like I said, I wish I stood up. My mom told me, she's like, you're not gonna retaliate because you can't really hurt these people if you retaliate. And yeah, I felt weak for not retaliating, but at the end of the day, I'll be the bigger person and not retaliating in an angry way. I wish I would have stood up to them, but retaliating in an angry way is not, it's not acceptable either because that's still a form of bullying. So just be aware if you're being, mean to anybody, be aware of what you say to people. Everyone's entitled to their opinions, but that doesn't mean you have to push your opinions on everybody else. So, just make sure, just be careful, and if you see someone in need, really be a good friend for them.
Let's give John a big round of applause for sharing that story. So, Kelechi, maybe just about the same size here, growing up, what kind of experience did you have with that?
Yeah, my name is Kelechi Assembly. Like I said, so it's a different name. I grew up in Texas. And so only African kid at my school. So, I got the African booty scratching jokes. I got the Kelechi jokes. I got the O7 jokes. I got the assembly jokes. And generally, I just got beat up a lot. I was like one of the first black kids to move into my neighborhood. So I dealt with a lot of racism, and it just made it generally tough. And the way that I responded to it probably wasn't positive, and it actually made it worse. Like he said, he responded with violence, and I was in trouble a lot. I was always in the principal's office, I was always in detention. I had anger issues for a really long time because of it. It still affects me a little bit now. Yeah, it was really tough. Not really feeling accepted, not being allowed to really hang out with the other guys. Part of the reason that I started playing football was to try to fit in. I grew up with 3 sisters that had any brothers or anything like that. My dad wasn't around, so I was trying to find a way to kind of fit in, kind of belong, my sense of belonging. So that's kind of how I grew up. And as I got older, I realized I had to learn how to accept myself and love myself first and work on myself first. Obviously, I started going to therapy, meditating, and praying, and trying to find positive outlets. Football actually helped me a lot with that, to kind of get that energy out in a way that didn't hurt others, to try to handle my emotions better. And the same thing I wish I would have told Nicole as well, what was going on, I wish I would have told my family, told anybody I take it on the inside and try to handle it myself, and that just wasn't healthy. That didn't help me. I wish I would have handled that differently, because retaliating for violence is never the answer. Retaliators are always the one that gets kind of, even on set days, if somebody does something to you that's illegal, as soon as you react, they see that, and you're the one that gets penalized. That happened with detention, it could have got worse, it could have got arrested, it could have been a lot worse. So, yeah, that's what's it.
Let's give Kelechi a big round of applause. So, obviously you can see 2 of the biggest guys in the NFL, it can really happen to anyone. And anyone that you're sitting here next to in your life, they may need an upstander in their life. And I'm sure these 2 guys probably wish growing up they had an upstander that was their friend that could have reached out and helped. So, John, is there a few ways that you can share with these kids on ways that just simple things that they can do to be an upstander, that if they see somebody going through what maybe one of you went through, that they could do to really kind of change that person's life?
Oh yeah, for sure. Firstly, the first thing you should do is don't encourage the bully in any way. Like that's typically what fuels a bully is, he's doing something and, there's a group of people over here laughing at what he's doing, but yet, no one's realizing that the person being bullied is really being affected by all this. Not by just the bully themselves, but by the group of people that are also laughing. And like that's a memory, that's a scar that's ingrained in you for the rest of your life. Like look me now, I'm almost 30 years old, and I still remember every single incident that I went through when I was your age. And it never leaves me, and that's been like a chip on my shoulder, as I play football now. Like I can legally bully someone on the field, but as soon as I take my helmet off and walk out, like I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, so don't encourage the bully in any way. Another way to be an upstander is to help the person being bullied get to safety. So if you see someone getting hurt, whether it's physical, verbal, whatever it is, try and help them out. Try and get them to safety. Pull them away from the situation. Like, hey, just come with me. Like you don't even need to be friends with that person. Like it's just a nice gesture. If you see someone in need, just to lend a helping hand. Like, hey, look, let's go take a walk real quick. Like, hey, come sit with me at lunch, whatever. Maybe come sit next to me in class. Just really reach out and try to help them get to safety, get them away from the situation. And we kind of mentioned it, Colette, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, but tell somebody. Tell a teacher, tell some form of authority, tell somebody older than you, whatever it is, tell someone that you think, would know what to do to help the situation. Don't just, let it slide and, act like, okay, it'll be all right, tomorrow forget about it. Because really, like, your actions mean a lot more and have a bigger impact than you truly realize. And I want you, to really take that in. Like, your actions they have so much more weight than you realize. And you can really change someone's day, someone's week, someone's year, someone's life, just by being that person trying to learn to help again.
Perfect. So, Gillespie, I'm going to give you the same question. Just some other techniques or thoughts about what these kids can do to make sure that they're an upstander.
One thing I would say is try to recognize the signs, or if you see somebody being bullied, speak up. Try to step in. If you see somebody eating lunch by themselves or something like that, maybe go sit down with them. It helps a lot to have friends. Those friendships can last a lifetime. Obviously, if there's like an altercation, don't post a video or anything like that on social media, and instigate the situation, make the situation even worse. Try to include people in activities like skateboarding or basketball or football or something fun. Try to make that person feel like they're included, that they're part of the friend group. At the end of the day, it really does come down to that, like just people feeling like they're accepted. So if you can do that, you can accept it and have somebody feel like they're your friend themselves.
Perfect. Let's give these guys another round of applause. So, when I told these guys that, hey, we're coming here to Central Middle School, it's a great school, the first thing they said was that they wanted to recognize the upstanders that are here, that they wanted to meet the upstanders that you guys have focused on each week. So I said, absolutely not a problem. So what we're going to do now is, when I call your name, I want you to come down, meet these guys, and get a prize for them. So, let's see here. I think I have them in order here. So, if we can have our week one upstander, Faith Gillies. Is Faith here? Come on down, Faith. Faith, come right over here. And those guys. Great job, Faith. All right, well, Faith is getting her picture with you guys. Here we go. Well, Matthew's getting his autographs, his pictures. I want to bring up Logan Joyner. Where's Logan? For you, congratulations. All right. Well, Logan's getting his autograph and his pictures. We have our next upstander. Let's see, Robert Sparrow. Where is Robert? All right. Let's see here. Next, our next upstander is Tanizi Patel. Where is Tanizi? Oh, there she is on the other side. Take that picture. Let me jump in there. All right. Congratulations, Tanizi. And our most recent upstander, I think just announced this week, Jared Benke. Raise your hand. Congratulations, Jared, for getting your picture and your autograph from these guys. All right. And as you guys slide down into the middle, you guys hang out on the sides, slide down, clutch, I'll put you right here, the bookend, this way, yeah? Slide down, get the center. You're looking at Sarah right here. Sarah, are they good? Okay. All right, let's give our upstanders one more round of applause. Here we go, everybody clap once, everybody clap twice, 3 times. We have 2 more things to get to today. The first thing is, we have time for a few questions for our players. So I'm going to look for hands that are raised quietly, and if you have a question for our player, feel free to ask. Let's see here. Yes, in the north face. Okay, I'm going to give this to them. I think John talked about it, but we'll have them both talk. So, Fletcher, what college did you go to?
I went to Iowa State University. It was nothing but cornfields and snow. It was pretty wild. Crazy.
And John, if you want to reiterate yours?
Went to the University of Florida, and then Stomp, go Gators. And I'm Bulldog, sorry about your Bulldogs.
All right, let's see here. How about the young lady in the back row with the glasses? Yes. Say that one more time. Do you think you're going to make it to the playoffs this year?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. We got Sammy back in the quarterback position right now.
The young lady in the red hoodie right there. What's your question? Oh, hold on, the one in the front row with the lifeguard, or the lifeguard hoodie, yeah. What was the question? Did you play any other sports growing up other than football?
I played soccer, I ran track, I played basketball.
Played basketball, a little bit of wrestling, and track.
All right, we have time for one more question here. How about the gentleman with the black two on it, yep, the glasses. So did football help you? You know what? How did football help with you cope with being bullied growing up?
So football became like an outlet for me because I had a lot of like pent-up frustration, a lot of anger, and like my mother would not let me fight. Whatever it was, she wouldn't let me fight. So going on the field and legally being able to bully somebody, football definitely became an outlet for me. And it teaches a lot of discipline, and you make a lot of friends that way. You become like a part of a different social group, and that definitely helped me find myself, knowing that there were some guys that I made lifelong friendships with, from playing football from a younger age.
Clutchy, same thing for you. Talk about how it helped you cope.
It definitely helped me cope because I made some friends on the team, and it also helped because it was a healthy outlet as well for getting some frustration out. But yeah, just feeling like I had brothers, guys that I could talk to, feeling like I was a part of something bigger myself, and I feel so isolated. So, yeah.
Awesome, perfect. So, thank you guys one more time. What we want to do is, we want to see who's listening out there. Who's listening to everything that what we were talking about today. So, put your hands down. Put your hands down. I'm going to ask a handful of trivia questions. I think we have time for probably about 5 or 6 trivia questions. I'm going to be looking for hands that are raised quietly. When I call on you, you want to give the answer. So, the first thing I need to know, both of these guys shared some really impactful statistics or stats about bullying. Who can tell me one of those statistics? How about in the yellow shirt right here in front? Great job. Come on down. Come on up. Can I say? All right. What's your name? Well, Nicholas is getting his prize signed here. We're going to ask the next question. So when everybody's listening, I need to know, oh, this is good. Jazz, I'm going to see if they were listening to you. All right? So, Jazz wants you to do what before you post something online? What before you post something online? Let me see here. How about with the red jacket back there? Stand up with the ponytail. Stand up. Yep. What was it? Good job. Think before you post. Great job. Come on, guys. All right. Here we go. Jazz, they're listening. They're listening. Here we go. I need to know, let's see here. What college did Kalechi go to? Let me see here. How about Sam Donner over in the back row there? Yeah? Sorry, all the way back row. Florida, no? Actually, the other Sam Donner right there. I would say, good job, come on down. I need to know, so John talked about being in the band and being bullied. What was one of the 2 instruments he played? Let me see here. How about the young lady with the red glasses and the green top? What was it? No. Let's see here. The young lady with the bow tie in the front, yeah? I cannot repeat the question. No. Let's see here. Who's raising their hand quietly? The young lady in the yellow shirt with the glasses. Yellow lady. French horn, good job, come on down. All right. Here we go. Next question. Ooh, this is a good one. So, both of these guys shared ways that you can be an upstander. Who can give me one of those ways? Let me see here. How about in the yellow Adidas shirt? And there's something else right here. Talk to the Joe. Great job. So, for this next question, all the students, put your hands down. I gotta let you in on a little secret, students. And I can say this because I used to be a teacher. Do you see all your teachers out here? Yeah! They love assemblies. They get to come down, drop you off, and just space out until it's over. So, let's see which teachers were listening to our questions. I need to know, this one will be for Kalechi, because I think we snuck it in once or twice. I need to know, where is Kalechi from? Let me see here. How about the G right there? Texas, good job, come on down. Congratulations. Here's our last question for today. This one is important. I like it. So just a little bit of background. This was one of the first events that I've done with Kalechi. And so I learned a lot about him today. Jonathan and I, we do this all the time. We're old hats at this. But the question that, the answer that Kalechi gave, which I thought was important, something different that we need to talk about, is Kalechi responded to being bullied by doing something. What was that, and what? And it was something that he wished he hadn't responded that way. So, how did he respond that he wished he hadn't? Let me see here. Here we go. Looking for someone raising their hand quietly. How about the young lady with the Nike headband right there? Hey, fighting, good job, come on down. First, can we give Robert and Beth Page better credit in a big round of applause? Next, can we give Jazz Jacobs from Stomp a big round of applause? Now, what we're going to do between, I think Stomp, I think they handed out the bracelets already. I know Beth Page has brought some giveaways that you'll get either later today or in your homeroom, and we brought some Jets bumper stickers, some keychains, some pencils, so everyone will get something before they leave today or tomorrow. So we want to make sure everybody gets something. Now, again, let's give another round of applause to Mr. Garnish for everything that he did for this program. And finally, our 2 stars here today, Jonathan Palachi. One more big round of applause for his